class is in session because today I'm going to be talking about how to regulate your nervous system. For the past 4 years, I've been working at a recovery center for eating disorders, and it has completely transformed and changed my life because in addition to the spiritual work and the inner work that I've been doing, being able to have evidence-based emotional tools has really given me the foundation that I need in order to very easily harmonize with life. On the scale of competency, right? First, we have unconscious incompetency, meaning you are not conscious at all of what you're not good at. And then we move to conscious incompetency, which means you know that you're not good at it. And a lot of people give up on any kind of skill, whether it's an emotional skill or learning the guitar or trying to break a bad habit. When we're conscious of the fact that we're not competent, many people don't like that feeling and we don't understand the process of what it's like to gain competency. So you just go back to numbing out or ignoring that issue. But if you prevail and you move forward, you get into this place where you're now consciously competent. So you're putting forth a lot of effort and you have competency, but there's a lot of striving involved. But if you don't actually put forth the effort to gain competency, you won't get to the last stage, which is unconscious competency, meaning you're not even thinking about how well you're doing. For me, harmonizing, actually singing harmonies with pretty much any song is very easy for me to do because I have worked through all of these steps to learn how to easily harmonize with any songs. Now, there are certain, jazz tunes or songs that have more complicated harmonies that I might need to practice or listen to a couple of times, but if I hear any pop song, I can harmonize with it immediately. And I love this notion when it comes to harmonizing with life. It's very important to be able to differentiate between what we can control and what we cannot control. What we cannot control is the melody, right? The melody is the parts of life that maybe we want to assert control over. Oh, I didn't want to get fired from that job. I didn't want to have that breakup. I didn't want to be born into this family that I was born into. I don't like how I look in this way. I wish that I hadn't experienced this trauma, right? There are things in our lives that we literally cannot control. The only thing that we can control is the harmony. We have so much agency though. Instead of just learning how to harmonize with life, we try to assert our will over the melody. And if you try hard enough, you actually can. You could grip it and control it and force it to your will, but it is an horrible experience and you're very tightly wound. If you're very tightly wound and you're trying to assert control over the melody, honestly, if you're that kind of person, you'll understand immediately. You're like, yeah, that's me. But there is another way of living. You actually don't have to do that. And there's a freedom and a peace that you can experience, but you actually won't be able to experience it unless you know how to regulate your nervous system. If you're in constant fight or flight, the ability to surrender control will be impossible. So let me explain. So the first thing that you want to be aware of is your SUDS, okay? SUDS stands for subjective units of distress. So, distress. On a scale of 1 to 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 0 being completely calm, having no cares in the world, 10 being full-blown panic attack, right? Okay. On a scale of 0 to 10, and this is all subjective. This is just based on you. No one can decide this except for you. How distressed do you feel in your body? Now, if you are at a 7 or above, it means that in your brain, you have the prefrontal cortex, and then you also have the amygdala. Okay, your amygdala is the oldest part of your brain. It's in charge of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Okay, we're familiar with this. Your prefrontal cortex makes all of the logical decisions. So, if you experience something that's triggering, if your friend says something, your dad says something, it doesn't have to actually be a crisis, but if it feels like a crisis in your body, right? You're like, here, it's extremely 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10 crisis. It doesn't matter what it is, okay? It's All that it matters is how it feels in your body. If it's at a 7 or above, your prefrontal cortex completely shuts off, so you cannot make logical, sound decisions. You're fully acting out of your amygdala because you're in survival mode. So, when you're experiencing some sort of triggering event, you're in a crisis, the first thing you need to do is to stop. Okay, this might seem simple, but this is the secret hinge that will keep you either stuck in your same pattern, choosing the same bad behaviors over and over and over again, or dissolving your old identity and shifting into a new reality. This is the answer, is to stop. In this moment, you can say, what a gift. You could say, what a privilege, right? Because this triggering moment, every trigger is a gift. Every single trigger is showing us an unhealed part of ourselves that needs to be addressed. So it's not bad. It feels bad, but it actually is not bad. Okay, so stop. The S stands for literally just to stop. Okay, the T, you just need to take a step back. Take a step back, okay? Don't make any sudden movements. Do not send that text to that man. Do not send a paragraph, okay? Do not send that email. Do not respond to anyone in any way, because remember, the prefrontal cortex is gone. You will not be making sound decisions, okay? And then the O, you need to observe, right? Just take a moment to observe what's going on. Am I acting out of a trigger right now, right? Am I gonna make a good decision? Be thinking about all of this, right? Am I just incredibly distressed in this moment, and do I need to calm down? Or is this a good time to make a decision, right? You have to be mindful of that. And then the P stands for proceed mindfully, okay? Great. So now you might be asking, okay, well, yeah, now I am a 7 out of 10. Now what? How do I get myself back down to 0, or at least down to 6 or 5 or 4? How do I bring my distress down? Well, thank you for asking. Let me explain. Okay, so say you did stop. You recognize that you were at a 7 and above and that your prefrontal cortex is shut off. So how do you bring your distress down? First thing you want to do is tip the temperature. Meaning get something cold like an ice pack, an ice roller on your face, take a cold shower, just something that's going to shock your body into being in a different state, right? We, for some reason, feel like we're able to control our lives with our mind. And of course the mind is very important, but I think we're at a point in consciousness where we're sort of realizing, oh yeah, we really need to focus on the body and what the body can do. And this is honestly just a shortcut. It's literally just a shortcut. Like if you could take a pill and it would regulate your nervous system, it would be this. This is how to do it. So you have to tip the temperature. The second thing that you'd want to do to bring your distress down is some sort of intense exercise, okay? So go run around the block, do 10 jumping jacks, just get your heart rate up. Do something really intense, no more than 20 minutes, okay? We're not like going to the gym and lifting heavy necessarily. You can do that, but just something where you get embodied, intense exercise. Okay, so now P stands for paced breathing. So, I mean, this is literally and everywhere. Okay, calm down. Let's take a bunch of slow, deep breaths. Right, so after you do this, now it's time to do some paced breathing. You could do box breath if you are unfamiliar with box breath. It's, breathing in for 4, holding for 4, breathing out for 4, holding for 4. In, hold, out, hold. It doesn't have to be 4, it could be 8, it could be whatever. Okay, any sort of deep breathing that's intentional. Okay, and then next, we have paired muscle relaxation. So what this looks like is starting from either the top of your body or the bottom of your body. And for instance, if I started with my feet, I would take a breath in while tightening my feet, okay? And then as hard as I can without hurting myself, just feeling the tension, and then breathe out and release. Then you move up to your calves, you do the same thing. You take a breath in, tighten your calf muscles, tight, and then release. Then you do the same thing up into your thighs, your glutes, your torso area, your arms, your hands, your shoulders, your back, your face, right? You're just tensing that part of your body with a breath in and then a release. And then at the last one, you can do your whole body either once, like 1 to 3 times, whatever feels good. I promise you, if you actually go through these steps, you will at least go down from a 7-8 to maybe a 6-7, right? Depending on how distressed you are and how acclimated your body is to chaos, it might not feel like it works dramatically. And it's not supposed to work dramatically. This is a skill. It's a skill just like anything else that is built, meaning the first, second, third, 10 times you do it, it's not going to be automatic. But this is an evidence-based therapeutic model that is taught in people who are recovering from addictions, okay? So it does work. I've seen it work. I use it in my own life. This is not a joke. This is extremely effective. And if you're ever struggling with feeling like you're out of control of your emotions, do this tip. Do the tip, okay? This is from dialectical behavioral therapy. It absolutely changed my life, and I know it can change yours too. Now that's like 3 or 4 different skills that you can use in order to regulate your nervous system, in order to regulate your distress. But that's not all of them. There's literally a massive book of all of these different emotional tools that you could use, but these are some of the hardest hitting ones because I find that when people are distressed, they're trying to problem solve, and you cannot problem solve again when your prefrontal cortex is turned off. And if you don't even know that that's what's happening, then you'll probably just end up making some mistakes or feeling like you're never making the right decision. It's because you're not. It's because you're living out of instinct and survival like an animal, right? You are the only one who can decide whether you live in a friendly universe or if you live in a universe that's against you. If you live in a friendly universe, it means that no matter what's happening, whether you lose your job, whether you're experiencing loss, tragedy, trauma, that there is something about this that is pushing you to a good, that's generative, that's growing you. If you believe that you live in a universe that's against you, you're like, why is this happening to me? I can't believe that this happened to me or this person abandoned me. It's your perspective, right? We can't control everything. We can't control the melody. How we harmonize is how we control our perspective. Almost every problem can be solved with perspective. If you really take a different look at what you're seeing, your problems will be solved. If you find yourself turning to activities that numb you instead of make you more present, whether that be any kind of drug or whether that just be other people, if you're always regulating yourself by saying, hey, Bobby, hey, Susie, what do you think about this? Can you help soothe me in this moment? We want to be people who are self-sufficient, who are self-sovereign, where we can simply turn into our own intuition and let that guide us, because we're the only ones who actually know where we're meant to be and where we're supposed to go. Right? The opinions of others can be helpful, but ultimately you have the say. But if you have so much trauma and you have so many things that are so noisy, if it feels very busy and chaotic and loud when you're on your own, if you don't have that sense of calm and that sense of peace, then the voice of intuition is quiet. It's not loud. It's not urgent. If you want to be moving from love instead of fear, you have to learn how to regulate your nervous system. You have to learn to be able to decipher, is this my instinct pushing me toward my pattern? Or is this my intuition pushing me toward my highest good? If you're somebody who is wanting to create a whole new reality, you don't like how your life is and you know you're meant for more, and you just keep finding that you choose the same things over and over and over again, and maybe the same people, the same energy, the same dynamic, just with a different font, and you want to get out of that pattern and create something entirely new, you want to feel a sense of inner calm, a sense of inner peace. That is something that I had longed for years, and it basically took me 15 years. And if you want to take an accelerated approach to completely changing both your internal and external world, I'm opening applications for coaching. You can see the link in the description. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.